The opening scene of my film, Birthday Madness, is about a teenage girl, Becky, who has been very unlucky on her birthdays. During a family meal at a restaurant for the celebration, a car crashes into the side of the building, leaving her without a father. Since then, Becky has had many problems with socializing and hates her birthdays. The film is about 17th birthday, where she invites her two best friends to come over to her house for a small hangout to avoid any mishaps. But this doesn't work out as expected, as some unfortunate trips and falls along with bad weather turn the day upside down. The video uses codes and conventions of the comedy genre by engaging the audience through humor. This is created by combining comedic dialogue as well as actions. Therefore, by using various senses, sound and sight, the audience will feel more integrated and like they are in the actual scene. The bright, bold fonts for the title and credits are also key features in comedy films because they create a fun and non-serious atmosphere. From the start, the stereotypical characters in comedies are identified through Becky, Alex, and Ali by having the introvert, the extrovert, and the caring, responsible person. The product represents social groups of teenage girls, but in a more realistic way, where not everything is as perfect as it seems, and it is not as it is stereotypically shown where teenagers are represented as either dumb people with no proposition in life whatsoever, or the perfect smart people who get the top grades of the class and are always on top of things. This film is about the lives of a friendship between three normal girls who have had many problems of their own, but together help each other to overcome this, emphasizing how important friendship is in life. I find this a very important issue to accentuate because there are many people who don't value the importance of friendship, take it for granted, or simply don't have true friends or have unhealthy friendship and friendship relationships. If the film was a real media text, it would be marketed on social media, its own website, YouTube, cinemas, posters, leaflets on the side of buses, and advertisements on YouTube and on the TV. To watch the film, it would only be available on cinema, DVD, Blu-ray, and online, as well as some other paying sites like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, HBO Now, and Hulu. The product engages with the audience by enabling them to identify with one of the characters, as they are all completely different to each other but are still connected together by their friendship. This enables the audience to feel more understood and feel like they are being represented in some way by the characters. The film provides escapism while staying in a realistic environment which makes it more credible for the audience, but at the same time it conveys comical aspects that will catch the audience by surprise and they will feel free to laugh at the characters and laugh about what happens to them, which is very different to it if it happens in real life. Through some research, I have found that this was achieved as some reviews from some people that watched the video mentioned that what they found most engaging from the film was that it was a situation that could happen in real life. Thus they found it easier to identify themselves with the characters and feel what they are transmitting, as well as the scenes of the phone call and the cake which were found to be very funny. I have recorded people reacting to the video to see if it engages the audience well and see if they find it funny, which is the main purpose of the film. In these reaction videos, the audience is clearly reacting as expected to some key parts, like the fall from the chair and the cake splat. And they all found it to be very funny overall, giggling throughout most parts of it, but still left enough time to recompose and let it all out again from one scene to the next. I have also created a Google Forms where I asked people for feedback on the film and if they found if this was an engaging opening and what they rated it. The results came back with a mean mark of ratings 4/5. This is because they found that it contained all the comedic features it needed. The song choice was appropriate for the genre as it had a catchy rhythm that gives a positive vibe and it is an easy going and happy tune, which is most commonly the representation of friendship, although this is a contrapuntal music as the footage in the video is of a bad day. This enforces how to always look on the positive side, and that in order for good things to exist, bad things need to happen too. However, some suggestions which I think were very useful is to have maybe experimented a bit more with the lighting and add more sound effects to exaggerate more the actions of the characters, leading to an increased feeling of comedic theme. The audience also believed that the use of dialogue was appropriate at all times, because if there was not any dialogue, some scenes would lose their humor, like the phone call, while other scenes require no dialogue, like when the character falls off the chair. In this project, I had to start everything from scratch, as it is the first time I have created a video on my own. I knew it would be hard, but I was up to the challenge, and I found it was better to do it this way, because I have complete control on everything, which means I have more freedom to make choices. From the start, I knew I would be doing a comedy because it's my favorite genre, and I was certain I was going to do the film opening of this genre. However, I found it very hard to introduce comedic aspects because at first it appeared to be more of a drama when I first began planning it. But then I played with the dialogue and added some accidents that would be funny to the audience. Then I had to learn how to use a proper camera because the only camera I had used previous to this project was my phone camera, which is not always the best quality. Therefore, I was able to play around with the different effects and try out different camera angles and movement. I had to do many retakes while filming, especially the scenes with dialogue and scenes that involved a lot of movement, as I wanted to take many shots from different angles, like the cake splat. The different perspectives managed to keep the audience entertained and transmit the mood of the different scenes. In this project, I had to learn to use many new programs for the editing of the opening scenes and learn to use new filming equipment. This includes creating an account on Blogger where I upload posts with all the work I have done from brainstorming the first ideas for the theme of the film to planning everything that will happen, like storyboards, shot lists, scripts, characters and actors profiles, location recs, blocking or direction of action, to then the part of actually executing it through the film and editing processes. In terms of hardware, I do not have any proper filming equipment other than my phone and some old cameras, so I decided to borrow one from the school. I also asked for a tripod, but all these were already reserved, so I had to adapt myself by using tables and desks to rest the camera on when I was filming, although other times I just had to keep my hand as still as possible. However, this worked in my favor for me in some shots where there is more action, like when one of the characters runs down the slope and trips. This adds more of an unsteady effect to the shot, emphasizing the stumble, or where we can see a character running down the stairs in slight panic. This increases the sense of chaos and stress the character is feeling, helping the audience to integrate more into the scene and the feelings the character is suffering. Then I also had to use tutorials to help me with the software because I had never used Adobe Premiere Pro before. So I had to spend most time practicing with some sample videos and experimenting with different editing techniques like effects, transitions, and graphics before I started editing the real thing. I found that this application is very useful to put videos together and it is very straightforward and easy to use, although the school computers are very slow and I faced some problems when exporting the finished piece. However, this was a very exciting and new experience that has helped me to develop a wide range of skills, ranging from communication skills, teamwork, time management, to leadership, multitasking, researching, and problem solving.